So in today's video, we are going to level up your editing in 5 minutes. These are 5 tips. This is what we use on our projects, whether it's a short corporate piece, all the way up to feature-length documentaries, which I just finished one. These are the techniques and the tips that we use. Let's do it. My first tip is use more real-time moments. People in the films will use interviews and slow motion B-roll, but they never let a moment happen. Watching a moment unfold on camera will be the most interesting part of your film. So in your edit, don't shy away from these. Let us see people living life, talking to each other, experiencing the real-time audio that's happening in this scene. This is what good films, good documentaries, even good commercials and corporate pieces will have. And it's a great way to break up all that talking head footage you have in your film, letting a real-time moment play out for even just a few seconds. So embrace that and let your shooters know that. Let their cameras roll. Stop cutting. Shoot for more than 10 seconds. My next point. It's a twofer. You're getting 2 points for 1. Stop using the blade tool and start learning a hotkey for edit. Rather than going and clicking on the blade and bringing it over and clicking on your edit and then finding the arrow. No. Find an edit button. This is gonna speed it up. Once I figured this out, it saved hours off my editing. Secondly, is figure out markers. Whatever that is in your software, I use Premiere, I hit M on my keyboard and then I type in what's happening in that shot. And what's great is I can go back and search for that footage later or what the person is saying. It helps me keep track. And also too, when I pass the edit over to other editors, they know exactly what's happening there because I've explained them and I've left them notes. Edit key and markers. This saves so much time from searching and from having to use your mouse. And one more bonus tip. You need to have a full screen playback button in your hotkeys so that you can watch the entire film on your entire screen, because no audience member is gonna watch your film in a tiny little box. And also too, you get distracted by the timeline. Whenever you're reviewing your edits, pause, go to full screen, and then watch it like a normal person would be watching the edit. No one is gonna see your film in an edit timeline, so neither should you. My third point is your music and how you're choosing it. The mistake I see so often is people choose music that is trying to do too much work for their edit. It's too big and it's actually distracting from the images. I say this, small emotions, small soundtracks with fewer instruments do more work. For me, I want my music to be felt. I don't necessarily need it to be heard.
I built this body for fighting. I gotta think what satisfies me more now today, and it's probably doing stuff for other people rather than myself.
And I think that's what people do with their music, is they choose music that sounds good on its own, but then when you add the images and you add your color correction and you add the story, it's just too much. And for me, that's why I love going over to MusicBed and going to the cinematic and chill playlist. This is where I get so much of my music. I've actually scored whole films that I've put onto broadcast TV from MusicBed. My film 58 Hours was all MusicBed. Our film Kill or Be Killed was all MusicBed. Even one of my first documentaries I ever made, Rescate, that was all MusicBed. It's where I go. It's my favorite library I use, and I build my film from there. And if you want to try MusicBed in your projects like I do, I threw a coupon code down below. You can use Mark Bowen, and that'll get you 1 free month for any of their annual subscriptions. My next tip for your edit is don't start slow. I had this tendency early in my career is to use all this kind of brooding footage at the beginning of my films. Is just get into things. Let us know who the film is about and what do they want. Start with something that draws us in. When I sent my film Rescate to Film Supply, I had this long, slow start that took like 3 minutes, and they said, can you start with something more exciting? So we actually took a scene from the middle of the film and put it at the beginning, and man, it changed things. If in the first 10% of your film, I don't know who the main character is and what they want, I'm not really interested because it's not really a film then. A film needs characters who want something and are going to pursue that. Even if it's a commercial, tell us what your client wants, what problem they are going to solve, and show us that journey to solving that problem. I think the fear is that we have to show really good footage at the beginning in order to convince people to watch your film, but what you actually need to do is have a good story to convince people to continue to watch your film, and then they'll get to see your cool footage, so you get to win in the end. Cool footage doesn't make a good film. My last tip is use sound bridges. Sound bridge is when you have the sound from an incoming scene start over the scene that you're currently watching. This bridges you to the next scene. It's something I use all the time when I'm stuck in an edit and I go, how do I get from this guy in a parking garage to this person in front of their house? Use a sound bridge. Simply adding the birds chirping up front of this house helps us make that leap visually from one location to the next. Sound bridges are my go-to. I use them a lot, maybe too much, but they help me get from one scene to the next. Simple technique to get you from point A to point B. So I hope these tips helped. Oh, that poor plant, it's getting so sad. Anyways, I hope these tips helped you for your edit. I hope it brings your edit alive, unlike my plants that are dead. But don't forget to check out that music bed link down below. I use them for everything. I love them. I'm using them right now. Coincidence? Absolutely not. But until next time, have a great week. And I hope your editing goes well. I hope this helps. See you in the next one.